Knowing what's toxic and knowing how toxins actually influence our life and our health is one thing, but then the detoxification pathway is something totally different. And there are many modalities to look at, not only in regards to what kind of detox agents we can take, but also how your body works, how you actually are able to detoxify heavy metals, plastics, and all of that out of your body. And that's why I would like to look at something that we call the DNA, the nutrigenomic DNA report. It's something which is quite new, well, 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years, but it's something that is not really practiced in conventional medicine, but it is very, very helpful to know. Now, when we look at DNA, and you learn from the toxic department that there are many areas that can actually be impaired. And you've seen that in that woman with the pregnant baby, that plastic toxins, PCBs, BPAs, and plastics and heavy metals are all leaching onto the DNA and actually cause a mutagenic toxicity, which then is passed on to the next generation. So you could well be born with a detox problem that is already programmed into your DNA, which means your liver detox phase 1 or liver detox phase 2 is not working. And you can see that in this little report that I have here beside me. The top 5 are detox phase 1 and the bottom ones are detox phase 2 pathways, which means if toxins are coming through the bloodstream, you put cream on, it's absorbed into the blood, it's traveling down into the liver where it's supposed to be filtered and cleaned out. And that's where the liver starts to do an enzymatic process and to break down all the toxins. Now, these toxins are broken down in 2 phases. Phase 1 is to make it water soluble, to make it actually digestible for the body. And then the second phase is to transport it out of your body, in simple terms. So detox phase 1 actually makes everything water soluble, which in some cases, in some forms of toxins, is even more dangerous because all of a sudden it can be absorbed into every cell. And that's where we need to be careful. Let's say you have a very, very powerful, very strong detox phase 1, but detox phase 2 is impaired, like in this case, all the red fields are impaired, all the orange are 50%, and all the green ones are about 100%. So when you think about that, you have your detox phase 2 not working, but detox phase 1 would be all green. Well, then you would break down all the toxins, make them water soluble, but then they can't leave your body. They don't get out, which means they recycle and they can be absorbed into every cell. Very, very dangerous. Another very dangerous constellation would be if detox phase 1 and detox phase 2 is impaired, like in this chart. The person cannot break down toxins, cannot get rid of them, cannot do anything. It's like a slow motion buildup. And think about, you have something that is never cleaned out. The cleaning process, the detoxification process doesn't work. So toxins start to stack up and build up until the barrel overflows. And when the barrel overflows, that's when we have symptoms like cancer or degenerative diseases. So in this case, this gentleman had all of them impaired, and guess what? He was highly sensitive to any kind of toxicity, no matter whether that was medication, whether that was any kind of environmental toxicity. It instantly built up and he had massive side effects. And this is what you can see then in a chart when you do a toxicological report, whether a chelation test or you do a standard toxicity test with scanning. Then you will find, like high levels of aluminum, in this case, high levels of silver or mercury, and they are going into the red, which means the body is saturated, is really high, toxic with those heavy metals. And if they can't leave the body, and that's only heavy metals, if we look at plastic toxicity, which causes infertility and all sorts of other problems, then there is no healing possible. So you need to get rid of those toxins. And I'll open that up for you in a moment. But they will show how your body works, which kind of toxins can be detoxified, which ones not, which ones you have to avoid from early age. And then we find all the detour. Let's just say from here to the airport, the road is blocked. There is no coming through. It's like big building site. So you have to find a detour. And that's what we do when we see those strong impairments and we bypass them. Now think about, you have someone that is, like in this chart, heavily impaired, cannot detoxify, and that person would go on to chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is a toxic agent to kill off cancer cells, but it also kills off immune system, it kills off healthy cells, it actually mutates healthy cells. It does a whole lot of havoc in your body and you can't get rid of it, which means it's recycling over and over again. And that's when you have people who have massive side effects with hair loss, with serious health issues, with strong nausea, and other people who have a proper working, non-impaired detox pathways, they don't feel that. You know, they shrug it off. They still even keep their hair. Some of them do really well. But that's something that could be checked prior to having any kind of medication. The process of checking your DNA impairments in comparison to the medication that you're supposed to take is called pharmacogenomics. And pharmacogenomics will tell you whether this kind of medicine, these kind of pathways to detoxify this agent actually works in your body. If it doesn't, stay away from it because it's going to cause serious damage. And if you can't get rid of it and you stay non-stop on the cycle of that drug, can be the cause for death. And that's what we see also not only with cancer but with vaccinations in children. You have young children who have those detox pathways impaired. Now they get that high load of toxicity into their body. Some of them shrug it off. They walk out the next day, go back to school. They don't feel a thing. And another child goes into seizures and autism and really devastating traumas. So it's something that needs to be checked before you expose your body to any kind of toxicity. And you can see here there is different types of pathways like CYP1A1 or the GSTM1, and all those different pathways decipher different types of the process and what type of toxins can be detoxified. So looking for a physician and practitioner who has knowledge before they give you medication or before they put you onto a generalized detoxification program is really important. Check that out. You will have a great benefit in the whole process of dealing with your disease. Now, let me just come back very short to the gentleman who had this strong impairment from 1 and 2. Very simple. You would work with him on all detours. Getting it out through the kidneys instead of through the liver would be one way. So you build in chelating agents that bind toxins and then you urinate them out. You would also go into sauna, daily sweating, getting rid of toxins through the skin. So if you use any kind of toxins like detoxification through the liver, you would do coffee enemas, which kick out toxins straight away, and then you bind them with citrus pectin and plenty of those fiber material that then binds to the toxin and takes it out of the body so it cannot be reabsorbed. There's plenty of ways to do that, but you need to be intelligent in your process on how to do that. Another factor which you can read, and I won't go into detail here, is in regards to MTHFR impairment. If you have a DNA damage in that process and you cannot methylate certain products, it's like taking toxins. You take medication, you take supplements which contain folate. Now that folate is not translated into an active form, into a methylated form, which means it creates a folate block, which can already be a cause of cancer. And that's proven. So don't underestimate. The value of a DNA test is incredibly high. And if you have someone who is knowledgeable in using it in conjunction with cancer, it's actually phenomenal because you can really read how your body works, which pathways are impaired, which ones aren't. And if you have those pathways active, well then you don't need to worry. But otherwise, you need to take different types of medication or supplementation. And you know, there are, like in Duracell, there are certain repair functions in phytonutrients that we can use. So there is different forms of remedies, and it's not one fits all, it's always different ones, but it's kind of very important that you can support this process on one side, and on the other side you can bypass it by taking the right supplementation, which already steps through that path so your body doesn't have to do it. Now, in regards to methylation, I would like to just mention very short, it covers so much ground. It's related to so many issues that you should not underestimate. And I would always ask, if you don't want to do a whole methylation test, nutrigenomic DNA test, I would ask my doctor for at least MTHFR impairments, because they are in conjunction with your nerve repair system, whether you can repair the myelin sheath of the nerve, whether you can actually start building glutathione, which is the master antioxidant. You might have an impairment in creating methylation or creating that glutathione, master antioxidant. If that's the case, then you have reduced antioxidant function, reduced detoxification, free radical damage will have a great role, and also you can't eliminate, which means it also impairs your whole detoxification pathways through your liver and through your kidneys. So it's relevant in almost all situations, and from all the cancer patients that we've tested, we can say between 30 to 40% have that impairment. So it's something worthwhile knowing, so that you can on one side support and repair, and on the other side that you can really go and bypass all those problems and avoid them from an early age if possible. The DNA test or the nutrigenomic test that you would do would cover many areas, and it covers everything in regards to autoimmune diseases, whether your body has the ability to do that repair or not. It covers inflammation. Now, we know that inflammation is probably about 50% related to all cancers. First, the cancer causes massive inflammation, but also inflammation causes cancer. Also, it occupies your immune system so much that it doesn't have time or space or energy to take care of cancer cells. So it's like very bad to have inflammation. And we'll cover that when we go into the physical department. But it's crucial to look at that. Now, if you have, like me, that pathway completely impaired, you cannot resolve inflammation. You need to stop making it. You need to stop causing inflammation. And that again leads us to a whole thing that we cover in the physical department on looking at how we can avoid creating more inflammation in our body and actually repair what's already there.